And when I was a kid, I was a massive empath. I used to feel everybody else's stuff in a big way.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much always in tears as a child. And and then I got to my teenage years and people would say to me, I just feel better when I talk to you. I just feel better. And I'd be like, that's probably because weird shit comes out of my mouth that I had no intention of saying, but stuff would come out that would, you know, I'd say stuff and go, shit, that was profound. Who'd that come from? I do that too. I'm like, who said that? Because you're intuitive.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose!
Welcome to this week's episode of The Wild Roads with Shona Lee and Paula Ivy. Today we have the amazing Lyndy Jewell as our guest. But before we get into a conversation on how Lyndy doesn't do stuff normal, we are going to ask hashtag awkward question time. So Lyndy, to break the ice and to get into the conversation, the question that we would like to ask today is, when you were young, I'm going to move my microphone closer for a dramatic effect.
When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. And you know what was really, and my friend was a massive feminist, even in grade 3. And I said to her, I wanted to be a mum. And she was like, no, you be more than that. You know, she was outraged.
Oh, wow. A 9-year-old going,
beyond that, there was nothing. I wanted to be a legal secretary or something like that. But I kept my horizons weren't all that big. I just assumed that I wouldn't do much. And so when I think about my my kind of normal life goals, they weren't very big. They were very dramatic. So,
I love that.
I know. I look back and go, that poor little kid. But I had no confidence then. I was just, you know, it isn't survival mode like everybody else. But now I'm glad that I didn't, you know, I mean, you go where you have to go, don't you, and end up where you're supposed to be. And now, knowing what I know now and doing what I do and loving it, I could not have envisaged this for myself. So it didn't need to be a goal.
Wow.
beautiful.
That's so interesting because, you know, it's some people, excuse me, I just burped. Some people know from a very early age what it is that they're here to do, and they find the thing and then they just go for it. And then other people kind of like float around a little bit and do, like Shona and I have done an episode before, and like all of our past careers, we've had many thousands between us, but like it's kind of like floating around and finding the thing. But yeah, I was really interested to ask you because I wondered, because of the line of work that you do now and what you do now, is like, was there any like kind of inkling when you were a kid as to what it would be? But like a legal secretary is kind of
as far from it as you can get. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm a psychic medium and an energy healer. So no, that was not on the radar at all, because I didn't know anybody that did that to start with. I didn't even know it was a thing. But I mean, same thing. I've had so many jobs. The favourite one I love to reference was when I was coating chicken balls. That's my favourite, where I was working in a factory.
What is that?
I was working in a factory that processed chicken, and the frozen balls of chicken would roll down this conveyor belt onto a big turntable, and I had gloves that came up to my shoulders, and I would tip a bucket of plum sauce or whatever it was on it and mush it all around, and it was just a casual thing I was doing for whatever reason. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed. I only ever did it one day, but it's the highlight of my employment career.
That's the best.
Oh my God, I love
Put
that.
that on your resume.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Can coat chicken balls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Happy chickens.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well let's dive straight in, because both Shona and I have had a session with you, Lyndy, and I've just signed up to work with you one-on-one for a month as well, because I just absolutely love what you do. And I've been friends with you online for quite a while now, and everybody that I speak to who has had a session with you, who has worked with you in some capacity, is just like, they all say the same thing. They're like, Lyndy is spot on.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. That's lovely to hear, but it makes me blush. And look, I always get a bit, look, doing what I do, and I've done this for years now, and I still get fraud vibes going, and I want to always put my hand up and go, but it's not me. It's just what I'm tuning into. So
for me, it's the guides.
Yes, exactly. And I've got to stop doing that. I've got to own it. I'm making a difference. But I've got to talk myself through that. because, you know, the self-worth issues and shit that go on underneath, even doing this work, even being woo-woo as fuck, you know, it still comes up. So, but thank you. I will try and accept that personally, but it is the guides, just so you know.
No, but it's just fascinating because let us know how you got into the work that you do.
So for me, I had zero family connection with this. So anybody that tells you that your grandmother or your mother has to be a psychic for you to do it is bullshit. Don't believe that for a second. Because I absolutely believe everybody is psychic, everybody is intuitive. And when I was a kid, I was a massive empath. I used to feel everybody else's stuff in a big way. And I was pretty much always in tears as a child. And and then I got to my teenage years and people would say to me, I just feel better when I talk to you. I just feel better. And I'd be like, that's probably because weird shit comes out of my mouth that I had no intention of saying, but stuff would come out that would, you know, I'd say stuff and go, shit, that was profound. Who'd that come from?
I do that too. I'm like,
because you're intuitive. So, and then I got to the point where I guess probably moving on from, you know, I was thinking about primary school, what did I want to do as a job? But I kept thinking, I want to do something that helps people. I want to help people. I want to do something that helps people. But I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor or a paramedic or a nurse or anything like, well, I didn't feel like I was. So, so it was always in the back of my mind to do something that helps people. And then I had a few instances that were too big, like too many messages coming through to ignore. So I can tell you one of the ones that really made me really kicked me in the ass and maybe go, oh, fuck, there's something here I need to look at. I was driving up, I live up in the Dandenong Ranges, and I was driving up Mountain Highway, and it's really windy. It's very, very bendy, so you can't see around most of the corners. And I was driving up in my little P-plater car and fanging it like I do because I was local. I'm a massive car bogan. And I got this message to stop the car, and it was so clear. And ever since I'd had my license, I would get warnings like slow down, and I would slow down and there would be a possum on the road or a echidna or a wombat or whatever. So I was very, very conscious of listening to messages in the car. And I got this super clear, very loud message, stop, stop, stop. And so I did and went, oh, this is weird. I'm in the dark on my own, stopped on Mountain Highway. And because it's very dark, it's a proper mountain situation. And next thing, a car comes around the corner on the wrong side of the road. So I saw the headlights coming and thought, oh, must be something going on. And it was on the wrong side of the road. It would have taken me out for sure. And I went, shit, that was lucky. And I went to take off, like feeling all the tingles, all the things that you do in that situation. Going, fuck, weird. That was weird, but okay. Yeah. And I went to take off and I got the same message again. And I honestly thought, but I've already stopped. But again, it was so insistent I couldn't help but stop. And then another car came around the corner. These two had been racing down the hill, and it was a four-wheel drive, came around sideways around this blind corner. And I went, and that's when, and I still get tingles about that story now. Like it doesn't even feel real. It was so incredible. And I went, fuck, I need to look into this. I need to understand where this is coming from, because it's kind of frightening. Even though it saved me, well and truly, it's still a bit scary to go, fuck, where did that come from? Am I hearing voices in my head? What, am I crazy, or am I supported, or is there a dead person in the back seat? What the fuck is going on? So, and then it was before the days of Google, because I'm quite old. So I had to
we date back pre-internet times.
That's right. There'll be pre-dinosaurs and then there'll be pre-Google. That will be the timeline.
That's right, exactly.
In the future.
I was born in PG.
So I had a friend's family were a bit woo-woo, but they were the out there woo-woo, like completely, like from my perspective, who was absolute mainstream, you know, just day to day, live your boring life, off you go. They were, as far as I was concerned, they were completely out there. And I went to one of the events they ran, and it was weird. It was beyond weird. Again, my perspective. But then it kind of linked me in with the opportunity to go, oh, so you can learn this shit. You can expand it. You can do courses and classes and go on sessions and stuff. And every psychic I went to forever always said, you're psychic, you're going to do this for a living, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you're right about everything else, but you're not right about that. Like, I just...
I've been a legal secretary, sorry.
Exactly. So eventually it's like, I didn't have any choice, really. Like, I had to step into it. But to be honest, like at the time when I stepped into this full-time, I was doing, because I built it up over time. So I did part-time, you know, doing it on weekends and stuff for a long time, and working part-time doing medical reception, which I hated. It was kind of good but kind of bad. And then when I made the decision to step into this full time, it was just so liberating, but also fucking terrifying. I think that a lot of people have this misconception that if you become woo-woo and you're spiritual and you're psychic, then your path's laid out and you're all confident and all of this shit. And couldn't be further from the truth. You still have those human contrasts that go on within us. And there's all these contradictions doing this work, like you've got to relax, but you've got to be in tune. You've got to, drink water, but don't do this. And like there's all this, and so I had to kind of trust that it would be okay, while at the same time absolutely shitting myself that there wouldn't be enough money to eat. So,
yes, that's the other thing too.
Wow. So it's massive. So I think that it puts a lot of people off really using their talent in this field, because they're like, oh, but what if it was going to work, I would know. It's like, no, you probably fucking won't.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, if I was psychic, I would know by now.
Yeah.
But like your human gets in the way, because it's not a human thing. Like it's not something that you can logically, as a human being, sort of like explain, or, well, no, you could explain, but like when you first sort of like diving into it, like me right now, it's like, yeah, but like I often say that to myself. I'm like, oh, if this was meant for me, like I'd know it by now. I'd be there and I'd know, and I'd have the things and I'd be like, yeah, I'm there. But it's kind of like, but your human gets in the way of a lot of it. Like your ego gets in the way of a lot of it. And it's like releasing that, but then staying in tune.
Yeah.
It's very frightening as well.
Oh, it is. It's frightening as fuck, but it's awesome when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Did we warn your people? I swear. We probably should have warned them.
Oh,
Sorry.
totes. We're fine.
Language.
We swear. It's all good.
Yeah, good.
We have an explicit box critique.
Yeah, exactly. And the word, I've never kind of resonated with the word ego. I think that there's fear and this is, again, like I always say to people, it's so important to run this shit through your own filter. For you, if your ego is a word that you love and you use, awesome, brilliant, use it. But it's one, just, I don't know why I'm even talking about it, but it doesn't resonate for me. So I see fear and worry and self-doubt kind of wrapped up in this like negative part of us as humans. But I also see on the other end of that arrogance. So they probably both come under the ego umbrella, I guess. But because you've come across, I personally have come across some healers, mediums, psychics, whatever, that have been so fucking arrogant about the fact that they're right. And even if you go, that's not true, they go, no, it is. And that's the end of the fucking story. So I don't love that aspect of it either. Like it can go both ways. So I much prefer to work with someone like you, Paula, and I am super excited to be mentoring with you. Like where we build up someone who hasn't got the confidence, then let them step carefully into what works for them, rather than having someone at the other end of the scale going, I fucking know it all, and this is how it is. And like, where's the learning and the growth in that for them, let alone for me?
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to create this sense of doubt and fear in their clients by going, oh, fuck, she said that's a thing and it's not a thing, and am I doing it wrong? And, and I think that the more you can be real about who you are as a human and not being, and being open to whatever the fuck, like I often say to my clients, does that make sense to you when I'm doing a reading? Because it literally makes no sense to me. I don't have to usually explain. I give them the message, the image, the words, whatever the fuck is coming through for me. But I don't need to kind of put it in a story that I understand for them. I can give them the information and then go, beauty, you've got it. Okay, move on. What's next? And your human brain will not love that.
Yeah. No, that's actually one of the reasons why when we had our session, I'm like, yeah, this is something that I'm being led to really dive into, and why I chose mentoring versus doing a course or going and learning something from somebody. I was like, because one of the things he said to me was like, it's so unique to each person as to how they tune into their psychic abilities and into their intuition and things like that. Like, it's not a cookie cutter thing. Like, there's one way to do it and you do it like this, and other ways that's not it. It's like, it's so unique to everybody because, we're all so different that made so much sense to me. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm not going to actually find it in sort of like something that's already laid out, so to speak. So that whole developing your abilities, I'm really excited for, because it's a growth, it's a journey, it's a mission that you're going on to figure out what that is for you and how it makes sense for you. And I'm really excited about that whole part of it, even though it's kind of scary, because we automatically want to make meaning of everything. We automatically want to make things make sense before they come out of our mouth, because we're like, yeah, we know what we're talking about because we're right. And it's like this addiction to being right about everything, because growing up as a kid, it's like you were schooled as you were right or you were wrong. And if you're wrong, you go back and do it again until you're right. Like,
yes, exactly.
It's a natural thing for us to want to be right about things. So I totally see that. But I love that it's a whole journey. And I would love to know a little bit about like what that was for you, like how you felt into that.
Yeah, that's probably a really good question, actually, not something I've really thought about, to be honest. But again, like I said, I had some beautiful people that I worked with along the way. So I did do courses and classes, and I learned very quickly that, well, probably not as quick as others, but I learned eventually.
I feel like that's me.
I'd be really drawn to do a course. I feel really, oh my God, I feel so connected. I'm doing this course, I'm paying this fortune for it. And I do it and come away and go, what the fuck was that? Like, what was that about? I didn't resonate with that at all. And then working out that sometimes you've got to do the shit that isn't right for you so that you can go very clearly, that's not right for me. So that was really helpful. But I had beautiful Tui Takiri, who was just divine. Another gorgeous one was Diane Thomas, who was a mentor, Sue Williams. Like, there's all these people that I've come across, and people that, that may not have necessarily been mentors, but I've met them at places and we've connected, and being able to talk to someone. I think that's part of the thing is like when you say to someone, I'm going to be a psychic medium, or I'm going to be an energy worker, people go, what the fuck? Like, you just feel like you're coming out of the closet. I mean, it's the real kind of confronting thing to go, I'm going from mainstream to this woo-woo world. See ya.
Yeah.
So to have people in your corner that you can bounce things off and grow from and learn from and all of that is really good. So, and there's stuff that I learned from the people that I really loved and really admired, where I went, well, I don't like the way you do that particular thing. Not that it was wrong at all, but I went, it doesn't resonate for me. And my favorite one is the swearing. Like, one of the mentors was just gorgeous, so divine, absolutely bang on every time, stunning lady, gorgeous. Said you can't swear. Swearing changes your vibration. They don't like swearing. And I was like, well, fuck, because the angels and guides give me messages with swearing in them. So are they wrong or am I wrong? And then I worked out, like, she smoked and drank coffee and all this other shit. And I went, well, what's the fucking difference? You're out the back smoking.
Yeah.
Which to me is like this thing, because energetically for me, I just have never been able to smoke. I think it's an energetic thing as much as it is a chemical in my body thing. And not that I'm organic by any stretch, but and I went, oh, so that's a really cool thing to learn, is that her rules around how it works for her don't actually impact me. It can work for me however I fucking want it to. So it did. And it gave me this awesome sense of freedom. So as much as I spent a couple of weeks going, oh, she said I can't swear, but they're swearing at me, and then I have to pass on the swearing, and
and to myself.
Yeah, exactly. So I beat myself up about it for a little while, and then went, oh, fuck it, I'll give it a go, and it was fine.
And that's actually why a lot of people are drawn to you, because they feel like Lyndy just speaks my language. Like, she just tells it how it fucking is. Like, she doesn't try to like sugarcoat it and make it all sound all woo woo. It just comes out of your mouth how it comes out. And I think that that's a huge thing for a lot of people, is that, we have a certain way that the woo has been sort of personified by a lot of people, and like it's sort of like, if you are a psychic medium, you have to talk a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have to be all like mystic and like wear like have one of those curtains that makes little beady sound when you walk through it, sort of thing, and cut the ball and like all of these things. And it's like, no, like
exactly. I know, and it's one of the things that, again, that I felt, because I kind of went, oh, I'm a psychic medium and I do healings and stuff, and then I had to go, and I eat Cheezles and I drink bourbon. Is that okay? Like, I swear a lot. It's like everything was just a little step more. I swear. Oh, and there's the Cheezles. Oh, wait, and I drink. Because there is this, or there had been, particularly back then, this expectation. And I had a guy actually say to me, I was a healer once, but, I couldn't live the organic life, and you have to live the organic life to be a healer. And I thought, that's crap. It's such crap. Like, the differences, and you guys have had sessions, so you get it. But for those who haven't, like, I always say to people, like, a reading with me includes a bloody good wallop of healing. I don't fucking know why. It just does. But people leave sessions with me, whether they're in person or online, feeling better. Like to me, that is
Absolutely.
healing. Like, what's it matter? Like, no one gives a shit whether I ate pizza last night or not. As long as I mean, one of the things, the only rule that I kind of have, which again I fuck up from time to time, is water. I find if I'm not well hydrated, things are a bit sticky. And so I'm always reminding my clients, drink lots of water before your session, because it does help with the energy flow. Again, from my perspective, like, but I think that once you get into the groove of how it works for you and why it works for you, like, Paula, I know with you and your photography, like you are doing that at an energetic level. Like you are picking up the energy of the place you are and you're able to capture that. So obviously that's going to be part of your energy work. So, you know, it's a significant thing to use what you know, because that's where you're comfortable. And when you're comfortable, the messages, the ability to clear energy and stuff is so much better, so much better.
I love that.
Absolutely. It's so, and it helps absolutely what you're saying, like even it helps with you know, facilitating. It helps with, you know, have your clients, you might have off days because you're human as fuck as well. You know, you might have off days, and then having this, I guess it's a tool, I guess, what would you call it, Lyndy? Like it's a tool that you could access, or it could be just part of your lifestyle now once you've tapped into it, that it does help you clear so that you can help your clients moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I genuinely believe that I'm kind of, when I'm working with people, I'm helping them tap into their energy. It's got kind of a fuck all to do with me. I'm like the interpreter. But I'm able to pick up some stuff for myself, but not everything. So I get readings, I get healings, which some people go, what, really? It's like, but you imagine like, and Shona, I don't know how you work with the way you work, but I find that my own shit is right in front of my face. It's all around me. It's too close. I can't get that clear perspective all the time. Sometimes some little fucking nugget of brilliance will be dropped in. Awesome. Thank you. Huge gratitude. Often I'm going, shit, what is the next step? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And so I've got people that I work with. So, and they do a fabulous job. And they're often people that I have mentored in the past. It doesn't mean that someone has to be more experienced than me or whatever. You just have to like their vibe or like the way their energy works with yours or whatever. Because, and the other thing too is that you don't, well, I don't think so anyway, that you have like one guru for life, one person that you work with forever. Like the people that I mentioned previously, absolutely, I still love having a session with them when I can, but it's not like that they are the be all and end all, the only ones I can learn from. I think that your energy evolves and so does theirs. So you let yourselves, you know, grow where you need to grow energetically and tune into whoever works for you in the moment. So, you know, there's lots of, there's a constant need for more people to be working in this field, because there is more and more people going, what is it? I want to taste it. And they need the different varieties.
Well, you piqued my interest when with our session. I think our session was earlier in the year, and I was a little bit stuck with, I guess, with an energy field with coaching, and I thought I've got to get to Lyndy, because I mean I've just loved following you anyway. Like I'll just have a giggle, because it'd be like you'll be doing a reading and you'd be just like, excuse me, just burped. Oh fuck, where'd that come from? Like, you know, it's
the worst. The burps are my confirmation, and it's just gross. I'm not a burper. I don't like it, but it's how it works.
Beautiful. I love it. So always, you know, I was just absolutely fan. And then one day, like when we had our session, you're just like, you know, you moved some stuff around home, personal stuff, and it was really, really beautiful. But you're like, Shona, you're intuitive as fuck, but you just don't know what the fuck to do with it. And I'm like, this woman's my woman. And it's kind of stuck with me, because I'm just like, okay, I need to work it out. But there is that fear base, like, how far do I go? Like, how far into it is there a place where you can stop? Or, you know, like it's kind of like very unfamiliar, but I do know that I have some kind of innate thing where I am getting messages. How do I put it into my work without, I guess, with the big curtain, you know? That's kind of where it's at. Big curtain,
Well, I think this is the thing, like we complicate it accidentally because we're human. Like there must be a thing I need to do. It's like, you're already fucking doing it. Stop dramatizing it. Just do it. So so you'll have to forgive me, Shona, because I never remember. This is the great thing about working with someone like me, is that I'm as vague as a vase full of violets. So I don't remember anything from anyone's session because the messages are yours. So So are you working in the coaching field at the moment? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So you're probably already tuning into people and seeing and feeling where they're stuck. And I think that's your genius zone. Like, just tuning into you now, it's like your genius zone is that you have this heartfelt intention to help people. So, and I think that you'll have, and I think this is what people don't recognize, is that you'll be talking to them on the Zoom or in front of you or whatever, and you'll be looking around the room going, why do I keep being drawn to that orange thing? Why do I keep being drawn to that picture of a bee? Why do, you know, like, and we ignore it and we dismiss it, but those things are really significant. So when you work out how to interpret those things and how they fit for you and what your signs and signals are, that's the key. So I guess with regard to expanding your intuition, some people will love doing a course online where I've got all the little things laid out and they can go, oh, I'll have a snippet of that. Awesome. Now I'll go away and think about that. Go to the next one. Some like yourself, Paula, go, right, give it all to me right now in my language, go. Get the whole lot.
That's
right,
so me. Just give me the whole thing.
Other people love a group setting where it's like, I'm going to listen to everybody else's questions. Because, you know, it kind of lets you rank yourself. Like, where am I at compared to everybody else? Some people like a little bit of comparison so they can work out where they are. So there's no right or wrong way to expand this. You've got to do what works for you. So, but I think it really, I promise you it does come down to the fact that you want to help people. You wouldn't be a coach if you didn't want to do that. Paula, you wouldn't be, you know, making people see their own beauty if you didn't want to help them and make them feel better. Like, if you come back to that absolute basic element of that, you cannot fuck it up. And I think when you give yourself permission to go, oh, well, no one's going to die if I tell them they're more awesome than they think they are, then fucking brilliant. You know, like, it gives you, it takes the pressure off you when you're going, do you know you're capable of earning X amount, or you want to go in this direction, but have you thought about what, you know, you actually talk to me about this, but I can feel you want to go in this direction. And it's not a pivoting them at 180 and burn everything down and start again. It's just changing your perspective a little bit, because people get very stuck, very focused, very tunnel vision, because that's what we do. We're human. So you kind of, it's almost like holding someone's hand and skipping along beside them when they've been fucking trudging through the mud for how long. So I think it's a beautiful thing. There's so much vibrancy in this work, and there's no end to the amount that we can share.
Love it.
I love
what
this,
a beautiful
Julie.
answer.
This was just, it was so beautiful to have you on, because I just love hearing your perspective and just hearing you talk about this. It's so refreshing in a way, because it's just like you allow it to come through as it is. And I love that you are really helping people in their way of tuning into this for themselves in their own, in their own skin. Like, this is a big thing for me, like being comfortable in your own body, in your own skin, and doing things your way. And this is truly what you're doing, but within like the psychic and tuning into your intuition and all of these sorts of things. And it's bloody amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I love it too.
Yeah, we're so honoured that you came onto the podcast to talk to us today. We'll have to definitely get you back on another time and dive deeper into some of these things, because
it's an honour to be here. Thank you, girls.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. Definitely more than happy to come back. It'd be great.
Yes.
Excellent. And jump on the show notes so we can get the links for Lyndy's stuff, as well as the fucking awesome Oracle cards. The best Christmas present ever.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. And my Get Fucking Motivated. They're out now too.
We need more.
Fucking Motivated Oracle cards. They've been popular.
Love it.
That's the way, sister. Have the best day ever.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose! Wild Rose!